I think one of the points that came out is the challenges around recycling. Why do we need good recycling technologies in order to recover resource that is of good quality, so that the recovered resource can be again used back in the manufacturing supply chain. So, where are we going to get this recycling technology? And there were some inputs about how India has very good research capabilities and good technology capabilities, and we have to see how to tap these in-house resources to build these recycling technologies at scale. And it is important now that we circulate the resources that we have, that we are generating through waste in India, because India is a big generator of waste, and if we can tap this waste and do this urban mining, which is a going to be a big change to the nature. I think that is going to make a big change in even importing materials from other countries. Is going to be a cost reduction, plus it's going to also empower new entrepreneurs to come on board with newer technology. We are a for-profit organization, and we are a social enterprise. So, for us it is planet and people before profit. So, while we are solving a big environmental issue, we are also solving a big social issue, because the informal sector involved in this space, and profit is definitely required for us to sustain as a business, but it is not the driver for organizations like us, right? And hence we have to be kind of treated a little different from the other commercial organizations, and we definitely need to get funds for growth, and those funds, let us say debt funds, required to be at some affordable interest rates. Then we can show better profits. And we have seen in the last 10 years of our organization, we have seen that one of the key factors that can help us make a more decent profit is how can we increase the service fee of the customer, of the generator of waste, of the producers who are making the plastic, of the producers who are making the electronics. How can we get more service fee from them, so that our operating costs are benefited, because our entire chain is formal, ethical, and hence obviously it is going to be more expensive, but we need the customers and generators and producers to pay for this. Then we can look at some profits. It's a matter of scale, but it's also a matter of time that we will be also in par with, and we need to get that industry status, but we cannot never be compared with commercial industry. So, if you are looking for cheaper options, then you are going to pay the price of it. You're going to breathe this kind of air. You're going to eat polluted food, and you're going to drink polluted water, and that is what we are going to pay. And this is what we have given to our generation that is ahead of us. So, at what cost are we creating fast fashion, fast consumerism, and such shortcut in our practices? We need to elevate everyone in that supply chain. If not for this informal sector, we would not have been able to come to this point of waste collection from door to door. So, they also need to be elevated in their living standards. So, which means to say that they also need to be given a pie of whatever money is coming out of this entire waste recovery process. And it's not easy. You can imagine in an urban city doing a door to door collection and moving the waste from point to point, doing a sorting, collection, and taking the point of recycling is very cumbersome. It requires so many people. It's all quite manual. Even if technology is used, it can to some extent reduce the manpower, but we want to encourage this employment and better livelihood, and that is the intent. And I am sure the urbanites sitting in the tall skyscrapers don't require that 100 rupees or 200 rupees that they are getting from the raddiwalas. So, that mindset has to go. You have created the waste, just give money to ensure that the waste is properly handled and recycled. So, every partner we've had, every customer we've had, and we largely work with the bulk-based generators, the corporates and tech parks, because we work in the larger, the urban cities, basically Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, and now Gurgaon. Our first intent is to how to engage with the employees of that corporate and tech park. It's so important, because we can be at the back end, we can take all their waste, we can manage it all for them, all of that is fine. But for us, an important piece is how do we engage with those employees in that corporate who are actually generating waste. So, awareness is very key for us, and it is 50% of our problem solved, because once we create that awareness and that sensitization, we will get segregated waste. That is number one. So, it is not only one is segregated waste for sure, but it's also about reduced waste. How can we reduce the amount of waste? Why are we having paper cups? Why are we having these plastic spoons and other disposables? Is there a way we can reduce our waste so that whatever minimum is coming out is only going for recycling? So it's a constant engagement and evolution, but it starts definitely with this with engaging with the employees, the facility teams, and then managing the waste. Waste to energy has two connotations. Biogas is also coming under the waste to energy, wherein food waste is converted into gas, which can be used for cooking. It can be made into bottled gas, bio-CNG. That is fine, that is acceptable, and that's fantastic. But the other forms of waste to energy are not at all acceptable, right? But today we are talking about circular economy. We are talking about a regenerating nature, which means to say that all the waste that is being generated has to be recovered as a resource. It should not be burnt. Why should it be burnt? When it can be recovered, all of them are recyclable. So why should we burn it at all? Therefore, waste to energy is not a solution in the circular economy framework, right? Only that part of waste which cannot be recycled, which cannot be recovered, which is soiled, which we say is like it can be 5 to 8% of the total waste generated in any campus, right? That alone can needs to have a kind of a closed loop system like a waste to energy system, but rest of it has to be recovered. And waste to energy has had its implications with the kind of high energy that it consumes and the dioxins it produces, and therefore it is only end of the pipe solution for mixed waste, but definitely not the solution for mainstream waste. It is not aligned with the circular economy. So there are many solutions where the municipality waste is coming. 60% of the waste is made into RDF and sent to cement kiln. Okay, but RDF is not resource recovery. It is not circular economy. It is burnt. So we cannot say the city might be the cleanest city, but if you have burned the waste, then you have not recovered the waste as a resource. So it is totally against what we are thinking of as future for not only our country but also globally. So one of the levers for this kind of a solution, circular solution, is having decentralized models, which means to say that larger cities need to have decentralized solutions. And as I also mentioned, SDG 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. So it starts with community. Like you talk about a big campus, the bulk waste generators are generating almost 40% of the city's waste. Each of them has to have a decentralized solution so that waste doesn't come onto the road, right? And then that entire unit generates its own employment. There is social equity, there is waste recovery in such a system. So when all of these bulk waste generators are looking at their own waste problems, I think we have kind of consolidating the circular solution at a city level. Similarly, at a city level for the non-bulk waste generators, also we need to find out spaces where waste is managed in a decentralized way, like a cluster of wards together at a constituency level. Because if we don't decentralize this, because the problem is so big, and if you don't decentralize the solution, your plants, the city level plants are going to fail, and we have seen it happening in cities like Bangalore, where you have 7 to 8 waste processing plants, but none of them is working because you're getting mixed waste over there, right? So what happens? Why don't we split it into decentralized solutions, have the plants in clusters, and then look at segregated waste being served there for resource recovery? That is the only way as a city we can become circular and self-sufficient, and we can create this local employment. At the same time, we can also all the GHG emissions related to waste transfer is all going to be reduced drastically. And then there is the most important thing is how we are bringing responsibility to a small section of the society, rather than say, oh, this city is not segregating its waste. Can we bring it down? Okay, these 5 wards together are making one cluster. That way, it's a much more manageable problem and a more feasible solution.